In their prime, who would you rather build around, Julio or Antonio Bryant? Who had a better career? Who you got all time, Shaq or Hakeem? Who was better all time, Ronnie Lott or Ed Reed? We're about to find out. Let's go. Every day, all over the world, millions of people are playing, talking, or debating sports. What if there was a way we could turn the debate into a sport? A competition where two contestants battle, but only one leaves a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, From the Sideline podcast presents The Fade Room. What's up, everybody? How we doing? We got a very special battle tonight. First, let me introduce your judges. From the Keeping It G podcast, we got my man coming off a tough loss, but he's ready to get back in there soon. But he's a judge tonight. Give it up for Gbaby. Drop some G's in the chat. What's good, Gbaby? Unmute yourself, my boy.
Man, you know what, we is gonna bounce back, but I'm glad to be as an impartial, unbiased judge today. You know, taking a role. You know, everybody always want smoke with me, but now I get to see people want smoke with other people. So it's a good thing to be here.
All right, let's go. All right, then reigning off from Chicago, we got my man coming off the last victory. He's the Terminator. He's gonna be a judge tonight. What's up, BooWop? How you feeling? Unmute yourself, BooWop. Unmute yourself.
Like, what's going on, everybody? You already know another battle, for the Terminator. I'm a judge tonight, but see y'all soon.
Right. Word up. All right, and then as usual, we got next year's tight end wide receiver, Trent McGahee. How you doing tonight, Trent?
Yo, what's good. I'm chilling. I'm a judge again. Taz versus Zay. It's about to be
Let's
good.
get it.
I'll be back soon. Scoping on people. So, I'll be back.
Let's go. Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna go over the rules, and then I'll introduce the contestants. Go ahead, Troy. Show them the rules. The rules of the Fade Room. You may only speak when it's your possession. Each possession has a 60-second shot clock. Each round consists of 8 minutes plus 60-second closing statements. Each player gets one chance to instantly steal back possession by saying cookies. Each player gets one chance to go no huddle for a 10-second extension by saying Omaha. Judges score every round. The winner will be announced at the end of the show. All right, awesome. So in the first corner, reigning from Colorado, he plays left guard for his varsity high school team. Give it up for the big mauler, Taz. What's up, Taz? Drop some T's in the chat, everybody.
What's good, y'all? Ready for a good battle with Zay today.
Let's go. All right, and then in our other corner, his opponent, he can beat anybody in the 100-meter dash that works in a factory. It's my man, Zay. What's up, Zay? You got to unmute yourself, my boy.
Man, what's good? What it do? And good battle tonight. May the best person win.
All right, and a couple more things, just real quick. No cursing, no N-bombs, no personal attacks. And then without further ado, let's get into round one. We flipped a coin, and Taz won, and he elected to go second, right? So the first question, in their prime, who would you rather build your team around, Julio Jones or Antonio Brown? Zay's going to go first, and Zay, your time starts now, my boy.
Sounds good. I would rather build in their prime around Julio Jones. I think he is the more all-around better wide receiver, can really do anything on the field. Had about a 6-year run of being the best receiver in the league compared to Antonio Brown's about 3 to 4 year. So, to me, it's Julio Jones.
Go ahead, unmute yourself, Taz.
I'd rather build around AB because I think he's the more complete receiver. You can put him in the slot, you can put him on the outside, and he's going to produce no matter where he's at. So I'm taking AB.
To me, if I have one game on the line and I got to pick one receiver and I got to throw it down the field and I got to make sure they go catch it, I'm taking Julio. He's a better deep threat. I believe he's a better red zone threat other than he just wasn't targeted by Matt Ryan. But I can't hate on him for that. He's got more He's got more yards than catches, or more yards than Antonio Brown on less catches. Uh, and they've almost got the same amount of touchdowns. They're about 15 off. So
Uh, AB, he's more versatile. You can put him in the return game. You can put him in the slot, the X, and he's going to produce. He's a better route runner, so he gets more separation off breaks. And then even on sideline to sideline, on the sidelines, he be getting both feet in because I'm pretty sure he took ballet as a kid. So got to be on your toes, and that's where he's always 10 toes. He stays in all the time.
yeah, so Antonio Brown, he might be a better route runner on certain things, but if you say that, you have to look at the entire route tree. And in the entire route tree, there are a lot of things that Julio is better than him at. And then Julio is also a better catcher.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I froze or.
Can you hear me? You good?
Good? Yeah, we're good.
We're good. All right, sounds good. So Julio Jones is also a better catcher.
Oh, uh-oh.
Are we good now?
Yeah, that was a shot clock anyway, so Taz, go ahead.
Hold on, I cannot hear you.
So Antonio Brown, he's faster in an open field. So his acceleration after catch and his reception after catch, he's better than Julio. He's better in the open field. He's more elusive. He can make a person miss more. As where for Julio, he's big and he doesn't really have the elusiveness that Antonio Brown has. And Antonio Brown, even though he's not as big as Julio, his contested catch rate is still pretty high for a receiver his size. And him to be his size and doing what he does, playing bigger than he does, is crazy.
We're about halfway through the round, guys.
Yep. So Antonio Brown only had about a 3 to 4 year span of being the best receiver at the time, or one of the top receivers, top 3. While Julio Jones had about 5-6 years, multiple years with 1,400 yards, multiple years where he had higher yards per catch or yards per reception than Antonio Brown. So I mean, if I'm taking somebody who's going to give me more yards and give me more production each game, I'm taking Julio Jones.
Go ahead, Taz.
Antonio Brown, he's more consistent because there'd be games where Julio will have 180 and 2 touchdowns, and there'll be games where Julio will have 30 and no touchdowns. So Antonio Brown, I feel, is more consistent because I think he'll go out there and get you 80 yards a game no matter who he's going up against. Doesn't matter if when he was going against No Fly Zone, he did good. When he went against Legion of Boom, he did good. So he went against these top defenses and he was balling and put on the show.
I believe Antonio Brown gets more catches or more targets than Julio Jones because Big Ben threw the ball to him more. Big Ben was a quarterback that, while they were playing together in Antonio Brown's prime, Antonio was getting the ball at all times. When the Steelers were playing, you knew they were going to play. And you knew Antonio Brown was going to get the ball. Julio, he got the ball when he needed it, but Matt Ryan didn't target him as much.
All right, guys, about 2 minutes left in the round. Go ahead, Tez.
Antonio Brown, yeah, he was getting more targets, but I feel that's also because his footwork and his separation showed that he could get open quicker than Julio. Because I don't think Julio, like, he gets separation, but not as much or as fast as Antonio Brown does. And Antonio Brown, his contested catch is still pretty high, so his catch radius is also high. So you can throw it to him even if he's contested, and he'll usually catch the ball.
Well, Antonio Brown can catch the ball for sure, but he's not a better catcher overall than Julio Jones in deep threat, short threat, medium, really anything. Uh, and Antonio Brown also in his top year, his peak year, didn't have more yards per game than Julio Jones. So Julio Jones has shown that he also can be consistent and put up big numbers at all times against any defense.
Antonio Brown has he also like produces in big games, and when he needs to go out there and do his thing, then he does it. And he's also really good in the return game. In the return game, I know he was always catching punts and kick returns, and he was pretty good at that too. So I feel like if I'd rather have a player where I can put him on special teams and offense, and he'll produce.
All right, guys, that's it. We're going for closing statements now. So, Taz, you're gonna go first for closing statements since they open.
I'm gonna take Antonio Brown because I just feel he's the more complete receiver and the better all-around receiver, and he can play special teams and offense. So I like that he's more versatile. And I feel like there was a 5-year span where he was the best wide receiver in the league, and where he went out and produced no matter what.
I'm going to take Julio Jones. I believe that as a receiver, I'm taking him because he is one of the best receivers of all time. And I'm also taking into account if I need somebody that is going to be a team leader that's going to help develop other people, is going to show people the works of being a receiver and showing them how to become one of the best. I'm putting in the guy I'm putting in the talent of a 6'4" guy with the speed of Julio Jones and the catching ability of Julio Jones.
All right, awesome, guys. Awesome round. That was really close. I myself have it pretty close. But yeah, let's throw the poll up in the chat. So everybody that's watching, please vote because we do keep track of the fans. What do the fans think? So if you got Zay, vote Zay. If you got Taz, vote Taz. Feel free to drop a Z or a T in the chat. Make sure you definitely vote in the poll though. All right. Yeah, and then we're gonna move right into round 2. So good job on round 1. On round 2, Taz, you're gonna be going first this time. And now we got a basketball topic. Who do we got all time? Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, or Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon? So all right, let's go. Taz, your time starts now.
So all time, I'm gonna take Hakeem Olajuwon because I feel that he had less of a cast around him, and he still produced. I feel he was a more versatile scorer than Shaq, so he can score in the post. He has a little mid game, so he could hit from a midi a little bit, and I feel like no matter what, like I feel like he was better for longer, and he always went out and produced, and he was a way better defender. I'm gonna take Hakeem all time.
And I'm gonna take Shaq because Shaq is the most dominant center anyone's ever seen play basketball in their life. At the end of the day, 2 points is 2 points, regardless of how you get it. And Shaquille O'Neal was one of the most efficient scorers doing what he did. They had to make a foul game just to get him to not get 2 points and he was still getting at least one most of the time.
Hakeem, I feel, is the better defender. And so, like, what you say, yeah, 2 points is 2 points, but Shaq wasn't really good at the free throw line, where I'm pretty sure Hakeem was pretty efficient for a big man at the free throw line. And so even if he got fouled, he usually go out there and get 2 points. There was never really the chance of him getting the one. And then defensively, I feel he's better. Even though Shaq was no slouch on defense, Hakeem was just that much better defensively. And we always rank Hakeem as a top 5, top 10 defender as a center. Then as we're Shaq, we don't really look at Shaq as that big time defender like we do Hakeem.
Yeah, so Shaquille O'Neal was actually not a bad defender at all. He's top 10 in blocks for career, which is compared to the top 10 that are up there. That's pretty elite for blocking. His big body was able to play defense just because he was so big too. It wasn't very hard for him to stop people in the post or anything at all. And he also might not have been great at free throws, but he was still able to get over 30 points a game. So it's not like he just got to the free throw line all game and just couldn't make any of them at all.
Hakeem, his footwork was a lot better than Shaq's. And, you know, a lot of people, like, Hakeem's footwork was, like, super nice. The dream shake was a killer move. And, like, you have current guards today going to see Hakeem for his footwork and, like, teach them how to, like, you know, work on their footwork and get better. Because Hakeem in the post with his footwork, there was no stopping Hakeem at all. That footwork was just different. And then Hakeem, he was the better, like, all around defender, where he was good at shot blocking. He could go guard the perimeter. He could guard in the mid range. Hakeem was just a more versatile defender than Shaq.
Yeah, so Shaq might not have been all fancy with the footwork and all that, but his dominance was so unbeatable that there was nobody in the league that could stop Shaq when he was getting the ball in that post. There wasn't a single player in the league. He was putting it on David Robinson. He got it on Tim Duncan. He did it against Hakeem.
4 minutes left in the round
Hakeem
before
was able
closing.
to guard him. So Shaq also, we can say defense, but Shaq wasn't a terrible defender at all. And against Sanders, Shaq could hold his own.
So when I'm looking at Shaq, and, like, when we look at his prime, we usually look at his Lakers years, and, like, during that time there was no really, like, dominant center other than him. Like, there was no really big name center that, like, we talk about today. Where Hakeem, he was going against, like, defensive player of the year Mark Eaton and Patrick Ewing, and, like, an era where centers and big men were, like, the most dominant, where we look at, like, big time centers in, like, the all time rankings. And when Shaq was in his prime, it wasn't really, like, no big name center. So when Hakeem was in his prime, he was going against all those dominant, like, paint force and big name centers that we look at today.
Yeah, so when Shaq was in Orlando, he actually still had to go up against, in his rookie year and all the years following, for quite a bit, for maybe like 5 years, I'd say. Went up against those top name centers that people talk about, and he was able to hold his own and actually do very well against most of them. Like, he played Hakeem, and he actually did great against Hakeem. He played David Robinson. He beat Tim Duncan and David Robinson, destroyed him in the playoffs, and it was just unguardable. He was an unstoppable force that nobody could figure out how to stop.
Even though Shaq was going against those centers, and
2 minutes before closing, guys.
Even though he was going against those centers at that time, that wasn't really his peak or his prime. And when Shaq really thrived is when those centers, like, not saying he didn't get his buckets against them, but when he was at his best as a player, it was not against those big name centers, other than Tim Duncan. And other than Tim Duncan, there was really no center that was like no big name center during that time. Where Shaq was, when he went on his three-peat, where he was averaging 30. So even though, like, in his Orlando years, he was still going against them, that wasn't like his best years.
But if he was able to do it when he first got into the league and wasn't even in his prime yet, I think it would be way worse for the other people when he got to his prime. If he was able to be in his prime when he played against them, it would have been even harder for them to stop him. And also, Hakeem, people figured out when they were playing Hakeem, the Heat actually did, I believe. It was Pat Riley's idea that if you double him, his vision wasn't very good and his IQ wasn't very good with the ball for passing wise, to where if you double him out of a post, he wasn't able to make the right play most of the time. And that's how Pat Riley was able to stop him.
All right, Taz, if you want to finish out, there's 30 seconds left in the round and then closing statements.
With, like, when you double Hakeem, he wasn't like the best playmaker, but I mean, to stop Shaq, you fouled him, and you had to take that chance of him missing the free throw. So I feel that they both had their ways to be kind of stopped.
All right, awesome. All right, so that'll conclude the round, guys. Awesome round two. Another close one. Zay had a lot of really good counterpoints. So yeah, we're gonna throw another poll up in the chat. So if you guys think Zay had the debate in round two, vote Zay or Taz, and then we'll get into the final round. So for the last round, it's a football question. We got two safeties. We got Ronnie Lott and we got Ed Reed. So for this one, we're going back to Zay. Zay's gonna go first. All right, Zay, your time starts now.
All right. I believe that Ronnie Lott is the best safety and really overall secondary of all time. He was a hard hitter. He was changing the game by making big plays, by smacking people. He was able to get tons of tackles out there as being a safety, and was a force to be reckoned with. You never wanted to run towards the way of Ronnie Lott.
Ed Reed, I think Ed Reed's the best safety of all time. I think with his IQ at that safety spot, he had every quarterback scared to throw the ball, scared to look his way. Like, 1 minute he'll be on the left side of the field and he'll run all the way to the right to make the tackle, to force the fumble, to get the interception. His IQ was just so high for a safety that he was such a dominant and unstoppable safety in the passing attack, and even in the run game, he would come up and stuff runs, and even though some people look at him, I mean, he's like one of the best tackling safeties, and he'll never, like, even though he might not hit you the hardest, he was still a hard hitting safety.
So I believe that Ronnie Lott was better at tackling than Ed Reed, due to the fact that Ronnie Lott had over 1,000, while Ed Reed only had about 600. And sure, Ed Reed was great at interceptions. He was a great ball hawk, but the interception total was not that far apart either. It's 64 on Ed Reed to 63 on Ronnie Lott, I believe. So ball hawk wise, Ed Reed, yeah, he's a better ball hawk, but overall, just taking over the football game, I'm giving that to Ronnie Lott.
I'd say that Ed Reed was a better person to take over the ball game, because even though the interceptions are close, Ed Reed has significantly more pick sixes, and he'll pick the ball off at the back of the end zone and take it 190 yards to the crib. And I've seen him do that multiple times. It wasn't just one game. He's just way better like at playmaking. Like he'll get an interception and he'll finesse his way through the offense to go and get 6.
You might have seen it multiple times, but Ed Reed actually only has 7 touchdowns, while Ronnie Lott actually has 5. So it's not that far apart. Ronnie Lott, on the other hand, of course, was gonna, if it was a run play, he was on it immediately. He knew where it was going. He knew where to go. He was able to find the holes on the offensive line, get tackles behind. He was able to change the game. He was always looking for a big hit, and that's how he wanted to make his plays.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott was a better tackler and a harder hitter, but the hard hitting isn't too far away. When we look at hard hitting safeties, Ed Reed is always up there. And granted, he might not have like as many tackles. He still wasn't no slouch at tackling, and he'd still like meet you in the hole, but he also never really like needed to like be up there and play the run game because he had Ray Lewis, so he was more worried about the pass and stopping nobody get behind him. And there was even Tom Brady and Bill Belichick say that he's the hardest person to ever play against because his IQ is so high, and you can plan for him for that whole week, and he'll come out and still like go get the ball, go get a turnover when you need one. So I feel like that's also like a very dominant thing where you have arguably the best quarterback of all time telling you that you can't be like planned against.
It might be hard to play against Ed Reed. He's a great ball hawk.
He just passed the halfway mark.
Very, very high IQ for that. But Ronnie Lott was able to make plays at any position he went to because he played cornerback and he played both sides of safety. It was able to dominate each of those greatly. While he was also able to make plays anywhere on the field, as in he could run. If he's a safety, he was supposed to be watching the back, but he didn't have a Ray Lewis. So he was going in there making the tough tackles. He was out there next play having to go run halfway across the field to go get an interception to go stop a play from happening. And Ronnie Lott was a force to be reckoned with. I promise you, there was no quarterback that wanted to play against Ronnie Lott.
5. Go ahead.
There was no quarterback wanted to play against Ed Reed because Ed Reed will figure out that you will know that you planned for him that week, and then he'll go and fake something that you see him do. It's like he'll open his hips to the middle of the field, and he'll turn right back around, and he's not scared to turn his back to any quarterback because he knows that he'll either fake them out or he's willing to take that risk to go get the interception on the big receiver because his corner got beat.
Two minutes in the round.
So when Ronnie Lott was getting thrown or the ball thrown to his direction, most receivers were, before they even caught the ball, just thinking about the fact that if I look away from where Ronnie Lott is, I'm probably going to get smacked and I'm probably going to drop the pass. Meanwhile, Ed Reed was more of just going towards the ball and not really going for that big hit to break a tackle. He was always trying to, be a ball hawk because that's what he was great at. So I believe that in certain plays that I'd rather have Ronnie Lott taking over the game than Ed Reed because Ronnie Lott has more ways to do it.
Even though Ed Reed, like compared to Ronnie Lott, isn't like as hard of a hitter as Ronnie Lott, he still hits pretty hard. And even though like Ronnie Lott will go like make you fumble off of getting hit hard, Ed Reed's like technique and his ways to go pick the ball off or to punch the ball out of the receiver's hand to force him to make a fumble. I don't think Ronnie Lott's technique was as good as Ed Reed as a safety, and he wasn't forced. I don't feel like he was like making the big plays at the right time like Ed Reed was, because Ed Reed would go get you a play and then take it to the house or force the fumble. And Ronnie Lott was just more just like a hard hitter. So, you know, the running backs and the receivers knew to hold on to the ball as to where to hold on with two hands, as to where Ed Reed, you
10 seconds.
push the ball out and get an interception.
Yeah, so
You got 15 seconds left.
the thing with Ed Reed is Ed Reed played with one of the best linebackers of all time. While Ronnie Lott never got that luxury to play with an all-time great like Ray Lewis. So he had to do everything on that defensive field.
That's time. We can do closing statements though. Zay, you open the round, right? So you could go first.
All right, sounds good. So at the end of the day, I believe that Ronnie Lott is the greatest safety of all time. I believe he's also one of the best secondary players of all time by being able to play cornerback, switching to safety, both safeties, while Ed Reed was a safety his entire career. I believe Ronnie Lott was able to change the game in more ways and impact his team on defense and stop teams from making those plays regardless of how they did it.
I feel Ed Reed's the best safety of all time because he played against better quarterbacks and more talented receivers and was still producing. So I feel he's the best safety because he's the better ball hawk, and he's just as good as Ronnie Lott as hitting hard. And I feel that he's just his ball hawking and his ability to know where the ball is at all times is unmatched, and his IQ is very high.
Awesome, guys. Another close round. And honestly, I thought, some of the arguments were going to be one-sided, but literally, I thought, you guys did a pretty good job in terms of trying to stay with each other. But yeah, great job. I appreciate you guys. Let's go to see what the judges think. We're going to throw another poll up in the chat. So whoever you guys think won the round, just make your vote. Let's start with BooWop. BooWop, what'd you think?
And good battle, fellas. I just gotta say it was pretty tight, man. So we'll see.
All right, Trent. Any comments about any of the rounds?
Good battle. Very close. Still, it's gonna be hard to choose. So, still good battle.
All right, Gbaby. Anything? You muted, my boy.
My bad. I'm pretty much echoing their sentiments. I've been kind of going back and forth on, because it's my first time judging, so I had certain criteria going in. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. My first judge, it's coming out pretty close, but hey, I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, and you guys can just send your votes right in our group chat. It's fine. Just tell me who you have overall. And for me, I'm not a judge. This battle, I'm not a judge. First battle, I'm not a judge, so I can just focus on hosting. But yeah, I mean, I was trying to keep track, and in my opinion, Taz was throwing a lot of good punches, and then honestly, in rounds 2 and 3, I thought Zay had a lot of good counterpoints. So it was really close for me, and I'll tell you, because my votes don't count right now. So in round 1, I had Taz, and then in round 2, because of Zay's counters, I had Zay, and then round 3 was tough too, because I thought the same thing as round 2. I thought Taz made a lot of good punches, but Zay just had a lot of good counters. And honestly, I still can't even figure it out. So I had, like I said, 1 to Taz, 2 to Zay, and then the third one was pretty much a tie for me. My votes don't count anyway. But all right, let me tally these up real quick. All right. All right, the first judge, we have Taz winning 2 rounds over 2-1. Then, and actually, okay, in a unanimous decision, every judge had Taz winning two rounds to 1. So Taz, you're going to be the winner of tonight's battle. So first we'll go to Taz. What do you think, Taz? How you feeling?
Hey, I thought it was pretty. I thought it was a pretty even match. You know, this is my first time ever really like debating like, you know, things I'm kind of passionate about. So, you know, it was a good learning experience. Zay was a great opponent. You know, he kept like getting me on them counter arguments. So, you know, trying to think of things on the fly to say why your opinion, you know, is why you think they're better is better. So, you know, he did his thing, and you know, it was fun.
Congratulations, bro. Want to know. Zay, what do you think, man? What do you think? I think the judges, I don't know if the judges got it right, bro, because
I
like I
mean,
was saying, I thought you threw a lot of good counters to what Taz was saying. I thought you came back with when you hit him with the like the return touchdowns, and you're like, oh, well, it's only 7-5, and then you hit him. You know, you were hitting back with some pretty good points based on what he was saying.
yeah, no, I definitely thought it was incorrect. But it's fine. I mean, had to come on the show. Had to.
Just so I could drop a dime real quick. Zay, chat voted you first round winning, second round winning, and third round winning. I'm out.
So it's bot.
Okay.
So I
Hey,
got
so you were the
sold.
people's champ of tonight.
So
You're the
that's all
people's
that.
champ.
That's all that
Hey,
really matters to
Hey
me.
Troy, since you're here, what you got any thoughts, man? Boy, I know you don't your votes don't count tonight. You're not an official judge, but I know you was watching.
I think it was a good battle. I think both of you guys could have brought some more energy, but I think you guys made good points. Yeah, and the judges got who they got winning. I just wanted to let you know who chat had winning. But yeah, great battle. Keep bringing it. That's all.
All right, guys, and that's gonna do it. But don't forget, we're giving away Joe Burrow, so make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow, all that. Once we hit 50 subscribers on Twitch, we're giving it away.
Sorry, GK, I got something else. Yo, shout out Godly and Garp for resubbing. All right, thank you guys, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much. And hey, if you want to be on, if you want to battle somebody, if you want to battle one of us, if you want to battle somebody you saw tonight, if you thought something was wrong, let us know. Put it in the Discord. Let us know. And so for me, all the guys at From the Sideline, Troy, GK, BooWop, Trent, Gbaby, and our two contestants, Zay, and our winner tonight, Taz. We out. Thank you.